There's a list of them, right? This is just an example, right? We have famous ones, Martin Luther King Sr., John Lewis, Thurgood Marshall, musicians like Duke Ellington, Nat King Cole, Shaq. He always represents his ring, right? And remember, y'all, there are local Freemasons who are not in knowledge of what Hollywood Freemasons do, right? Freemason is nothing but Satanism in disguise. That's what it is. People think, oh, they believe in God, they're a brotherhood, they do stuff for the community. Yeah, so they because they have to have influence. Don't That's what drug dealers do. They do stuff for the kids in the community when they sell drugs. It's in movies, it's in everything, all of that, right? So they do the same thing. They do for the kids because the same with the police. They show up at hospitals. They do what they have to do, to show the kids that they're around, and it's crazy because they never taught us about Freemasonry in school, but yet all our civil rights leaders were Masons. Musicians and entertainers, Richard Pryor, Ozzie Davis. The list goes on, y'all. Benjamin Hooks, Jesse Jackson was a Freemason, y'all. It's just so many of Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Johnson. Come on, y'all. How am I making all these connections? This is not a coincidence. Like I said, they want you to be. We just got showed this example in the movie Him, and they showed us the price to pay. We all knew this, but I guess they made that movie for Generation Z. It's for them to see that, oh, this is what you have to do if you want to be with us, because the guy that they're starring the movie in, he was the main character almost in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, and they moved on to him being in that movie called I'm Him. All right, so like I said, Martin Luther King Sr. was a member of the 23rd Lodge in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Thurgood Marshall, the first black member of the U.S. Supreme Court, was supported by his Prince Hall Lodge in Louisiana. The comedian Richard Pryor joined the Peoria Lodge, in Peoria, Illinois, while actor and activist Ozzie Davis, all of them, and Sugar Ray Robinson were all active Prince Hall members, Masons. Finally, Shaquille O'Neal, Nelson Mandela, y'all, just to name a few. This is crazy, man. So this is what what that looks like. I have so much more. It's in everywhere, y'all. It's in TV shows. They're real reckless with it, especially back in the day before we were heavy into the internet. Moving on here. Here's just another poster. Thurgood Marshall, Booker T. Washington. They're proud of this because they made it look like it's a godly thing. Like they were. But these guys don't believe in God. They believe in that all-seeing eye right there. You see, that's what they believe in. They don't believe in the God we believe in. So look to the east, men better. I showed this before in my video with Tyler Perry. They're all part of that he was a part of that fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, which did Freemason like rituals, and they were backed by the Prince Hall Lodge. I can't make this up, y'all. This is all factual information that they openly admit, but for Freemasons' jobs is to deny their membership when asked, right? That is one of their main jobs. If they're asked, are you a member of the Freemasons? And they don't have to be open with it. You don't have to be an open Mason member. So the people who are open with it, they're proud to be Masons. And you see here in this photo here, you can already guess who that is. This is the Prince Hall Lodge. That's not a white guy right there. But you know who that is there? Jay-Z, one and only. He does nothing but show he's a part of the Freemasons. And this is why Malcolm X was not part of the Freemasons, but he had, this is why he left. He left the Freemasons he left the Nation of Islam because he left for Freemasonry. There was a rumor that he did leave for Freemasonry, and the Nation of Islam viewed Masonry as a symbolic, of the devil, right? And they said the white man is the devil, and the knowledge is limited to 33 degrees, which is considered the devil's knowledge, right? How come they never taught us this in school? Contrast with God's knowledge. God or Allah possesses 360 degrees of knowledge, representing the total sum of knowledge. You go down to Malcolm Source, a member of the Nation of Islam. Views were shaped by his time as a prominent member of the Nation of Islam, where he was exposed to these anti-Masonic teachings, right? Which was a good thing. And the criticism of the white man, his public speeches and writings, often including condemnations of white people as devils, aligning the Nation of Islam with interpretation of Masonry and the 33 degrees of knowledge. Once again, just something that they never really looked upon as a godly thing. And the government the government and neutrality. In the U.S., the establishment, the clause of the First Amendment prohibits public schools from promoting and inhibiting any particular religion or religious practice, which is true, because they don't teach you religion in school. That's kind of the thing, you go outside of school. But why is Freemason looked at as a religion if it's just supposed to be a fraternal club? It's because they said that Masons insist that they're not a religion. Freemasons have religious elements. Members are required to profess a belief in a supreme being called the grand architect of the universe. And the universe, what they're perceiving to the people, is a black hole, that can suck you up, the opposite of what God basically